So, welcome to Poly Role Models. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Indigo Wolfe. I am a gender fluid nerd who reviews sex toys. I also talk about like adult drinks and sex advocacy at my blog, Indigo is an Adult. And I like to dye my hair.
Awesome, awesome. I mean, feel free to let it out, you know. But let me start with so, how long have you been polyamorous, or how long have you been practicing polyamory?
It's kind of funny. I was not polyamorous or anywhere on the spectrum until about 3 months ago. So I'm not super a role model, if I'm going to be honest.
That's fine.
I was in a relationship for 2 years that was monogamous, and we decided we wanted to open it. And as it turns out, I wasn't really okay with it, and we jumped ahead. And because of that, we ended up breaking up because he got really attached to someone else really quick. And so I'm probably on the spectrum somewhere of like non-monogamish. I might be into more like polysexual or polyfuckery, as I've heard. But I haven't had the chance to experiment as much as I would like.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, we're all somewhere on a journey, right? So, what does your current relationship dynamic look like?
None. So it was a really hard breakup for me because we were together for 2 years. Like that's a long time.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of bouncing around. I currently have two people with regularly that I call friends with benefits because the now. It wouldn't surprise me if I ended up being polyamorous and I just couldn't do it in that relationship because of a previous dynamic. So that wouldn't surprise me necessarily, but I haven't been pursuing anything like a polyamorous relationship just because I'm trying to like get back into my space.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, like, what aspects of polyamory do you feel like you would excel at? Just sort of tinkering the question a little bit in terms of experience levels.
Um, I think that I'm really good at communication in relationships, and I think I'm really good at like organizing. So I'm super good at making sure that like everybody has their due diligence and things like that. And I have a very like strong sense of fairness, which um, I feel like that would be a benefit in terms of polyamorous relationships and making sure that like I'm spending enough time with everybody and meeting everybody's needs that they want me to meet.
And are there aspects that you feel like you would struggle with?
Oh God, I'm so jealous. I'm just by nature a very jealous human. And so that's something that I've been struggling with. Like I've been in therapy for 3 years, and trying to like sort of work through why that might be. And that's been my biggest struggle with I mean, any relationship really, even with friends, I kind of have this problem where I'm just like, I want more of your time and more of your attention. I want to be very special and things like that, which I know is me, not them. And so that's been my biggest struggle.
Well, knowing it's you and not them is honestly further than a lot of us get. Now, in terms of risk-aware, safer sex, how do you mean to like protect yourself and say your partners?
So I'm a sex educator. I use barriers in every interaction that I have, and I mean I don't think I've ever not used barriers except with my last partner who I was with for so long. We were fluid bonded, and I think that it's just a matter of making those agreements. So I don't mind being fluid bonded to someone as long as we're both getting tested regularly, which I get tested every 6 months anyway, and making sure that any new partners or for the lack of a better word, like new body environments get tested, and we use barriers with those and things like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, I the next question is, what's the worst mistake you've made in your polyamorous history? But I don't know if that's a question to ask you. Um,
Talk about something else. I did have an idea.
Go for it.
So one of the things that I've been super struggling with my last relationship, sort of falling apart, is I felt so bad for not being polyamorous or not being polyamorous the right way. And one of the things that my ex said to me a lot was like, "You need to communicate better. You need to communicate better." And I sort of realized recently that I was communicating because if I hadn't communicated, I would still be unhappy in that relationship and like curled up in a corner every time he went on a date and things like that. And so me communicating did end up in the relationship falling apart. Like, it was the catalyst for that, but that's not a bad thing. Like, we just didn't go well together in this dynamic.
Yeah.
And so, like, my biggest mistake is kind of doubting myself on, like, my communication skills because I know they're good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So, what self identities are important to you? And you rattled off some of them at the very top of this. And how do you feel like they'd affect your polyamory sort of going forward?
The biggest one is gender. I want to date, the next person I date has to understand that I'm not a woman, and that's very important to me. Just to not be sort of pegged as like man or woman. I'm fluid. I'm genuinely like one day I will be a man, one day I will be a woman, and one day I will be somewhere in between, which is extremely important to me. I super identify as like a slut, and I really want to go out and have a lot of sex with a lot of cool people safely. Um, and so it's very important to me that they understand that. And I think that the last identity that is really important to me is I have a lot of severe depression and anxiety, which is why I've been in therapy for 3 years. So I need someone who's going to understand that, who's going to say, oh, you're having a bad week, a bad day, a bad month. It could be anything. It's
Yeah.
probably not me, but it might be. So I'm going to talk to you about it.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. And so, do you have any groups, projects, websites, blogs, etc., that you're involved with that you'd like to promote?
Well, right now I just have my blog, which is indigoisanadult.com. I'm on Twitter at indigoisanadult, and I can be found there and any other exciting projects that, which I'm hoping to be able to announce once relatively shortly, but I can't yet. So keep an eye on my Twitter.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for taking your time and being a part of Poly Role Models.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me.
All right.